Let's get started, guys. So, hello everyone, and welcome to Where to Win webinar series. My name is Noor Basha, Senior Marketing Manager at Winwire Technologies, and I'll be your moderator for today's webinar. If you experience audio issues during the webinar, you can dial in through telephone details provided to you in your registration confirmation email. And during the webinar, if you have any questions, you can just post those questions in the chat window or the questions dialog. So having said that, today's topic for this session is going lean way for better UX. So what we are going to cover in the next 30 minutes is some of the basics and benefits of lean UX and how is it impacting on user experiences or information architecture, existing process, and other communication areas. So before we get started, I would like to take a couple of seconds to introduce who we are, then introduce our panelist. So with that, I would like to introduce Winwire Technologies, which is a specialized IT solutions company focused on making information actionable for the enterprises. Our key focus areas include mobility, cloud, collaboration, and analytics. Winwire is at the forefront of mobility revolution, focused on mobile enabling enterprise applications, leveraging technologies like HTML5, mobile enterprise application platform, and cloud as a backend technologies. As a Microsoft managed partner, we also work on different platforms such as SharePoint, SQL Server, Office 365, as well as custom-built solutions on Azure and .NET programming. So with that, I would like to introduce you to today's panelist, who is one Mr. Gopi Thagarajan and Mr. Thomas. Both of them are consultant UX at Winwire Technologies. So with that, again, I'm handing it over to Thomas, and I hope you enjoy the session. Thomas, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Noor. And starting with the agenda, and I will be covering the basic process and principles of Lean UX and an example, and then Gopi will be showcasing a case study of how Lean UX helped to improve one of our projects, and followed by a Q&A section. Okay. Moving on to the presentation. So, as we all aware, a few years back, people were more focusing on the look and feel in any application and not much on the actual user experience. But nowadays, everybody has smartphones and such devices. Users are more focusing on the interaction, or user experience become key in the success of any application. So users' expectation on the interface has been changed drastically, and because of this rapid change, most of the companies fear the competition, and many product ideas are getting failed. And in order to overcome these failures, organization does huge investment on innovation. But what happens in most of the case, they appoint an agency, and or the traditional way of innovation is the companies appoint an agency, and the agency does different type of studies. Maybe we could say focus group. They conduct contextual inquiry, customer interviews, they conduct surveys, and they come up with a huge set of documents. And all these studies are good, but what happens in most of the case, market conditions might have changed since the original learning took place, and trends would have changed, and in many cases what has happened, product is released and once it is released, it failed commercially. So that is why we have this new concept, which is known as Lean UX. So it is something, it's like it's bring together all team members, developers, marketing team, stakeholders, and involve them in the same process, discussion and brainstorming sessions and design evaluation. Another point is, it is learn quickly how well our product meet our goals. And once you have an idea, make a low fidelity prototype and test with actual usage and iterate. Again, long detailed design cycles are made short, iterating low fidelity cycles, and feedback coming from all members of the implementation team, early and often. And as the name indicates, it is lean. So we are moving away from the heavily documented steps and focusing only on the design artifacts. So how do we go ahead? The first thing is, whenever we have a project or a product idea or a requirement from the customer, we just start sketching on it. It's like take a concept and build the interaction. Different options can be created. For a while, stay away from PC or laptop. Sketch out the entire option. Take one and sketch the complete user journey. Since it's in a paper, we can scrap it and again start and take a new direction. And once the interaction or prototype is, we could say low fidelity prototype is done, we can take or put this sketches to the internal team. Again, we can discuss it with them, include the developers, and check with them what is possible, what is not possible, because they are the ones who are actually developing it. So we must involve them. After that, validation with persona. Persona actually represents a major user for the product. Persona express focus, and it says it will say the expectation of a user. And in this persona, things he want to know, things he want to do, that becomes important. In a we can see things he want to do and things he want to know becomes the cursor. And once validated with, after that we can run the concept with the stakeholders. Brainstorm, get their idea, debate. Once that is done, the most important part we need to test the concept with the actual usage. And this is most important actually. In this time you will come to know whether we are doing right or are we doing wrong. And again, once we get their feedback, go back and discuss. Repeat all the steps till we get the final solution. And in this slide, I have showed the complete linear process, step 1 to step 5. So step 1 to step 3 can have one iteration, and again step 1 to step 5 can have another round of iteration. So multiple iterations can happen till we get the final output. And another point here is we need to understand that for the mobility service also the same process applies. It is not only for web or other product. Okay. Moving to the next slide. Here is the core principles of Lean UX. So it is mainly based on self-measure group. So it is Qt actually. and it's a collaborative effort, cross-functional team, and it's a continuous discovery. Customers and users to understand what they are doing and why they are doing it, and again permission to fail. It is okay to experiment. Even if we fail, again we can come up with another approach, because investment in this is very less.
Hello, Thomas. Are you there? We lost you.
Yeah, let me continue that.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, right?
Yeah, thanks, Gopi. You can continue that one.
Yeah. So let's take an example of so let's take an example of online checkout, which is take an example of small example on how online checkout. Noor, probably you can pass it on the.
Yeah, I'm just passing on the control to you, Gopi.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry for that. So let's take an example of how Lean UX process, as Thomas was explaining about the Lean UX process. So let's take an example of a small example we've taken as an online checkout experience. So what we do is that we take to start the process, right? We take a list of concerns of what do we have concerns on, what are the problem areas we face during the checkout process. So we list down all those in a list in a piece of paper. In that, for instance, some of the examples may be like lengthy form, or why am I asked to capture code every time? Is there security concerns for me? What happens if my credit card goes in the transaction and the transaction goes off? And what if the product is unavailable and still I'm paying for it? So these are concerns you just note down. There may be many other things. Then on discussing on certain areas, you come up with an core area of concern, which in this case may be like due to have an efficient way of online checkout. We say that a lengthy form or 2 minute steps to follow. We take this as an example, and how do we overcome this? So what we do is that we build a persona for a person who is doing an online checkout. So in this case, as a Madan, we are taken as a small example, and we are noting down his purchasing habits, his likes and dislikes. So this will be a good example for us to take it for whom we are designing this online checkout for and what he is looking in for. So what we do is that, and the next thing is we start sketching. We start sketching rough sketches like on one-page checkout, how a stepwise process, expand collapse information on the checkout page. We go on scribbling on the small in the paper, and we make an interaction out of it. So we make the and since we're just doing a rough sketch, we are just putting all the ideas in a paper, and we're not using any software or anything like that. It's just we are building up the concept and interaction. So the next step when we are done with the sketches, we go to the team and we involve the developers, we involve the project managers, the technical people, everybody in one room, and just throw the concept to them and discuss it, brainstorm it, use the whiteboard. They may have some very good ideas, and developers may give some very good technical information, because as a designer, when you're doing a concept, you have some weird ideas which may be not possible while implementing. So those all factors you can discuss in the table, and you can brainstorm it, and you can say the advantages and disadvantages of each of the options, and I can analyze the competition with them, like in the sense like if Amazon is doing in this way, eBay is doing this way, how do we compete with them, and how it will help the users gain a good user experience. Then you go back, collect all those feedback, and you go back and resketch your designs once again based on the feedback from the session. Then you go and to test with the actual users. This is very important because what we are doing is for the users. I mean, so you test it with the users. You again show them the concepts which you made, discuss with them, and they may say that the way they do the online checkout, how they do, how they like it, what are the dislikes, what are the issues they face on the daily life or the daily things which they do. So again, so that's the process. Like so you analyze the problem first, then you try to resolve it by making rough sketches, and you come up with the interaction, and then you validate with the team and the users. So this is a cycle which goes on and on until unless you come up with with the whole concept of finalized concept. So if you notice that in this case we are testing it quite early, even before it's designed. It's actual visual designed, or you wireframe it. So you get that early product tested with the actual users, and also you're bringing stakeholder in the process. So everybody it's kind of collaborated effort, and you get it. You're quite confident when you're going to a development. So that's a story about Lean UX majorly. So let's take an actual case study which we had done as a Winware. We had done a small, huge project we call as proposal management system for it's a global research firm. So this company was a huge research company which are doing research throughout the globe for the different companies. Something about market research they were doing. So, the main challenges for us in this project was it was a very legendary application. They were just creating some of the proposals for their customers in Excel file and just dumping it in a portal. So. The key challenges were to bring up everything in one process, and one application where all the researchers used to find out the research findings and put it create as a proposal for the customers, and get finance people in and get a sales person in, and it had a long list of workflow involved in it. So how we started is that we did a walkthrough from researchers, actual users who were the researchers of this process. And we had this bootcamp exercise organized by our stakeholders, which will be involved technical folks, and we got an in-depth knowledge of the current process. So again, we started with identifying the problem area, and in this case, what we found out creating a proposal structure. Researchers would be creating a proposal structure first. So that was a key area. That was a key start for that, because unless they cannot create a proper proposal, other steps would fail. So that was an important point to start with. So we started with that, and what we noticed was that there are two types of proposals which are going. One was a simple proposal where they used to just pick up one kind of research area, and that's it. They give to the finance people. And one was a complex proposal structure where they used to, there will be a lot sub proposal in one single proposal. So that was a complex system. So the next step was we started sketching for a simple as well as complex, both simultaneously, with different variations of things of the sketch of the interaction. one again with the in one single page. You can see the entire proposal. One with kind of an Excel kind of thing where you can just see sheets and you can go ahead and it's kind of step-by process. So we analyzed that everything. We brainstormed with the stakeholder. We involved the business people. We involved the business analysts, the technical folks, the technical architects. Everything. Everyone we brought in, and we debated on each of the options, which is good and which may be efficient for this proposal, for creating a proposal. Then we brainstormed and we went back and resketched it. Then we came up, everybody was confident on that. And then we finally, what we did was we tested with the actual users. We showed them these options, and again we discussed with them if we're going the right path, or they're expecting something else, or is there anything else in their mind which they're looking in for. We gathered all those feedback and finally came up with a final set of concept, which we went ahead and created a low fidelity wireframes for the entire steps from start to the end. And since everything was done, we again took that and made we contacted the branding people, corporate communication, and came up with a visual mock-up of the same, which and finally the HTML task, HTML for that same task. And if you see the screen, yeah, everything was done. I think we had already had this. We are quite confident about the wireframes as well as the storyboards which we created. It was quite easy to come up with a mock-up and HTML. And it was the documentation for the developers were also very easy. They could have easily referred this. They were involved in the preliminary discussion with during the concept stage. So they were pretty confident, and the stakeholders were also happy with the process because they knew that this is going to be a success even before we started the development. So the moment we took one task, we completed that. We took another task. We took another task of creating a cost for the proposal. In the same way, we followed the same lean process of creating a concept and then ending it with a mock-up and then to development. So that's the case study, and we were quite happy, and people the project ran to very good success, and people were enjoying doing the proposal, using that application. So that's it with me. If you have any questions on anything about Lean UX, you can please just tell us. We'll be waiting now.
Thank you, Gopi, and thanks, Thomas, for a very insightful session. So I would request audience to post the questions in the chat window, and we'll take up the questions now. So here are the first questions that is coming from the audience. One is, what is the difference between the Lean UX and Agile UX? So Gopi, if you could answer that.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting question because many customers tell that. What Lean UX is like, difference between Lean UX and Agile UX is, Agile is something where user experience, development gets involved for a single task as a separate thing, like for a single task. But in a Lean UX, everybody comes together and work. That's a prime difference. So in Lean UX, we have this process of learn, create, and then build it. So that's Lean UX, and in Agile, they have this like they complete the task as phase one or Scrum, like one part, and then they finish it off. So that's the main difference between Lean UX and Agile.
Thanks, Gopi. And I remember Thomas saying that this Lean UX process doesn't only fit into web apps, but also fits into mobile apps. So one of the users wanted to know, can we follow the UX process for mobile apps as well, or will there be any significant difference from the web-based apps?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. So what we often face from a customer is that it's a mobile app, so they wanted to see the app first. So rather than they don't want, I think it's kind of a new thing and it's a small device. So they wanted to see. So, but that's a mistake. People do that. They actually jump to the design. But that's not a process, because even in web app, the mobile app, we need to follow this lean process because ultimately people are jumping into mobile nowadays and in a large way rather than going through the web. People access their net banking, people pay their bills through that. So it's become very much important to follow a certain process of lean UX, maybe define the concept first and then go to the design. That's the key. Even I would say that in mobile you should start with the concept rather than directly jumping to the design.
Okay, thanks Gopi. So the other question is how long generally it takes for a lean UX process to do one particular task, say for an instance, like if we are developing any admin screens or something on those lines, because most of the time the feedback they get is that customers take long process to develop something using the lean UX process.
True, that's true. That's the assumption people make when they say that, oh my God, you've done so many steps, you've written so many steps, it will take months and months. No, but that's wrong. What you're doing is just sketching. It hardly takes a day to sketch, not even a day. I'm saying too much. It will take just a couple of hours to sketch an interaction, put your ideas in that. So the only main problem with thing is that you have to get out of the PC. It's a starting concept. You have to go out and then just sketch it, throw all your ideas in that. So the problem is when you sit in the company in your PC and do your design, there will be a lot of disturbance. You'll be checking your mail, you'll be chatting with people, somebody will bring you. So in this concept, you just have to go away from that. It's like you take in an area where there's nothing. You just sketch out, put out all your ideas, and show those ideas. So that's the way. It's a very less time consuming, I would say, than the traditional process.
Okay, thanks Gopi. I think we are almost close to our time. In addition to this, in case if you guys have any questions, you can just drop us email at marketing@winwire.com, and I will let my experts reply back to you on those emails. Thank you everyone. Thanks Gopi and Thomas for the useful session, and I hope everyone enjoyed, and have a good day. Thank you.
Thanks.